Thank you for gathering us here together in your spirit to do your will in this blessed time of the year. We want to remember you and your son, your gift to us. May we bring these gifts back to you fourfold. And please remember us always to consider others first, because we are not the center. You are. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son,
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Andy Nakane and Ms. Nanette Cook. Thank everyone for being here present today. We welcome you to the City Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the speaker form and submit it to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 3-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolutions and not by Robert Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, call 337-291-8800. That's 291-8800. Absent is Mr. Glenn Lazar, District 5. Item number 5, Wolfie Pierre. As requested by Chair Pat Lewis, this item is being deferred until such time as a new date could be confirmed. Item number 23, Board Apartment, Bozer. A resume was inadvertently omitted, so the appointment is being deferred until December 16th meeting. Item number 24, CO 102-2020, Curfew Code Amendment. Legal is requesting it be deferred until a January council meeting to allow consideration in conjunction with other ordinance. Due to election day requirements, the council meetings for November and December will be on the first and the third Wednesday of each month instead of typical first and third Tuesday. As the chair, my announcement would be to make sure that everyone go out and vote this coming Saturday. I want to make sure that people remember to go out and vote. There's the marshal and 2 jobships available. That's coming up for election, and also some amendments. I think there are 3 amendments. Okay, any council members or announcements? Looking to my left, to the right. Okay. Mayor President report.
Which item is it? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, we just have the budget to actual comparison of major city funds, October 2020 preliminary. Director Toops is behind me if any of the council members have any questions. Also, for a house cleaning item, Mr. Chair, we would ask that the, bear with me, the downtown ordinance regarding curfew. I know our CAO just gave me the item number.
They said it was deferred.
Yeah, that is deferred, Mr. Mayor.
24, and it has
Yeah.
been deferred, so
Yeah.
my apologies.
Yeah.
That is all I had. I was going to make a request that it be deferred. We had another item that we'd like to submit for your consideration
Right.
At the same time.
At the same time, correct. That was noted earlier before.
That's okay. See, my CAO abandoned me like that. You see that? But she,
Yeah.
look, but she is back. She is ready to rock and roll. So,
Okay.
but thank you
Sure.
to the chair. We have many things to be thankful for in this community. My service with you guys is one of those, and I appreciate what you do for our community.
Okay, thank you. Okay, ceremony presentation, as I stated before, that item has been deferred until a new date can be confirmed. Staff has something they want to say? So I see the button is pushed. Staff? Okay, we'll just,
Cindy has hers on because she's about to read the
oh,
resolutions.
okay. Resolution. This is a public hearing, and speaker forms are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read item number 6.
City Resolution 42, 2020, a resolution of the Lafayette City Council to approve the adjusted fiscal year 2020 budget and approve the fiscal year 2021 budget of the Downtown Development Authority, the governing authority of the Lafayette Center Development District.
Need a motion and a second? Motion by Ms. Liz Hebert, second by Mr. Andy Nakane. Council discussion. I see there's no discussion. Ms. Veronica, any public comments?
Yes, sir. One citizen who did not wish to speak signed in to support the resolution. We do have one speaker, Anita Begnaud.
Ms. CAO. Thanks for having me. Anita Begnaud, I'm the CEO of the Downtown Development Authority. I just wanted to let y'all know I was here if you had any questions. Thank you for putting this on the agenda, and we look forward to another year of working with y'all.
Thank you.
No other speakers, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Let's call for the vote to adopt this resolution.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. City Resolution 43, 2020, a resolution of the Lafayette City Council expressing its conditional commitment to reimburse Lafayette Bottle Art Lofts Phase 2 LLC an amount not to exceed $129,033 for certain stormwater management features.
I need a motion and a second, please. Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Ms. Hebert. Any council I see a council discussion. Mr. Nakane.
I guess Jason is here. Is anyone from Public Works here also by any chance that could maybe talk to this by any chance?
Yes. Jan?
Ms. Lyman? Thank you, Mayor. I just had a few constituents had some concerns that this was just another, but he called it a buyout at the lofts. I explained to them, this is basically a betterment, is it not?
It is
Right. Basically, this.
not technically a betterment, but it is like a betterment. There are some
Right.
stormwater features that they will be adding. Did you want to speak to that at all?
Oh, we talking about item 7?
Power.
Yeah, look, my appreciation of the facts here is that this is basically a reimbursement for a betterment, correct me if I'm wrong, and it's very similar to lift stations that we do in the city very regularly in unincorporated areas. But, you know, it's a stormwater, this is infrastructure, this is in regards to drainage, and they have agreed to spend, I think, up to $179,000. I think the reimbursement would be no more than $129,000, so.
But
That's
this
my
will
understanding.
definitely improve the drainage in the area and assist with the underpass and flooding and things along that line, from what my understanding is correct.
Correct. There are some features that they're building into their development.
This is important considering we have such a great development going on there, and the benefits from the development alone are tremendous, but here we're also going to have improvement in development. So I have to agree that this is a great thing to move forward with. I wouldn't question the money in that regard because we're only paying a portion of the betterment naturally. So I just want to offer my support for this, and I want to thank you for the clarification because there were some people questioning this amount of money going back to the bottle loss, but it's actually their assisting Public Works and Drainage and doing our job. So thank you very much, Ms. Lyman.
Ms. Cook?
Yes, Mayor, I understand that this is not going until the 21-22 budget is, so this is not, this is not going to be a line item because our budget's already been approved. So this is moving forward to potentially
Right,
putting it.
This is a resolution. I believe they need support of the council to do some other things. I think they're working with the federal government, working with the
Right.
state, it's my understanding. But, you know, I know this, many of us, if not all of us, ran on drainage. We definitely appreciate any partner that we have, any stakeholder that would help us with the betterment or would help us with these efforts. I think Councilman Nakane said it pretty accurately, that this would help, not just that area, but that region. I heard a report earlier that it could even help the underpass. I don't know if that's fact or not, but I welcome that. I think we all do, especially in a heavy rain. One thing that was highlighted to me that I appreciate is this is a cap of the $129,033. So even though the betterment that this particular entity paid exceeds that amount, the reimbursement would be capped at that. So that's something I think we can all kind of appreciate. And look, I know there's a lot of, I'll go ahead and say it, there's a lot of attention on this project. There's a lot of discussion, a lot of hard work, honestly, that I wasn't aware of before I got into office, and that I can appreciate. You know, with all those discussions had, I think we can all wrap around our arms around a project that beautifies an area that's been disinvested in our city for a while. Well, we may have had some disagreements on how we get there. I know I voiced my concerns on using general fund dollars to loan money. Those discussions have been had, voices have been heard. So with that, we can all appreciate. But for this specific item, I'm very comfortable with this because it's an infrastructure need, and it's an infrastructure need that is being paid by someone else that we're reimbursing for. It helps the community for an area that we all ran on, which is drainage. With the cap.
No, I'm very comfortable with you. You had me at drainage. I mean, you had me way back at drainage. I was just establishing when it was going to be. Like, we don't have to come up with it right now, because it's not in our budget currently.
So
It's not-
procedurally, just so for everybody following, this is not an appropriation, this is a resolution, so this is the voice of the council. So when we do get to the 21-22 budget, if it's appropriate at that time, because this could be a 22-23 budget, you know, in the military would say METTC, the mission will dictate it, but we'll check out the circumstances at budget time, and maybe even a mid-year budget.
Sounds good.
Mary, you had something you want to say?
He answered it. I was going to tell you, most likely next fiscal year.
Okay,
And,
that's what
yeah, and I just want everyone else to know there's a lot of perks that come with that. I think it's about a $7.3 million that comes with that from the state. So by us committing $129,000, we're going to get another, when I say we, the project going to continue on getting up to $7.3 million for our commitment. So I'm glad that the council members are going to support this, because to make this project happen, this is, I believe, a $60 million project. So the state's going to contribute $7.3 million.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, I think the emotion that comes around something like this is maybe the history behind that. That's why I took the time to maybe kind of give some further thoughts with that. But if you think of the nature of what the money's being spent on, this is something that this body and the administration would support outside of a betterment. We all support infrastructure needs. We all support drainage initiatives, road projects, things like that. So I feel like when we put it in that perspective, it maybe might put some people's mind at ease.
Sure. Thanks again. Okay, we can move along. Okay, then let's call for vote from the council.
Mr. Chair, we do have one
Oh, have a
speaker,
public-
Mr. Josh Collin,
Oh, yeah.
and only, he supports the project and only if there are questions, but you may come forward if you have comment.
Okay,
Okay,
that's enough.
thank you. Only if there are questions, you may
Right, okay,
proceed.
thank you. Okay, vote from the council, adopt the resolution.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4, District 1.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Report and/or discussion item. Okay, update on Festival International. This is for Chair Pat Lowe's and Annette Cook authoring this. Like, Scott, can you come up to the floor, please?
I think your presentation is already on there. It's uploaded already. Okay.
So Scott, before you begin your presentation, can you give us a little brief synopsis of why we here? Why we are here tonight, and you're going to give us this presentation, because people at home, they may not know, and some people that's here may not know why we call you and ask you to come give us this presentation.
Absolutely. So Council, Mayor, thank you for having me. My name is Scott Feehan. I'm the Executive Director of Festival International. So yeah, I think real briefly, there's been a lot of stories lately about the possibility of Festival International moving to Youngsville, I think is really the one that everybody latched on to. So since then, I've had several discussions with you and a lot of other organizations. So I think I was asked just to kind of give an overview of the reasons why and where we stand. So I put together a real quick deck, and really what I wanted to do is, like I said, just kind of address, there's a lot of mixed signals going around, and I think the good part about that is it means people are concerned and obviously value what we do, so that's the good piece. And what I was going to do today is just give a quick overview of what brought us here. I'll fill you in on some of the discussions that we've had since in the past few weeks, and what our goals and challenges are going to be moving forward. And I think what I learned through this whole process is there is a perception discrepancy out there. So I wanted to frame this by showing this slide, and really the point of this is, you know, we really, in year one, Festival was started and seeded as kind of a 50-50 partnership between the city and the organization. It's a $150,000 budget. Half of that came from city and parish, and the other half was private. Fast forward 35 years, we've really turned into a different organization with a $1.7, $1.8 million budget. And we still, and I think it's an amazing success story. We were seeded by public, and we're still operating on about the same amount of public funds. So I think overall that's great. But to put it in perspective, what that means to us is we just have to raise the money. So real rough chart on that is half of it comes from fundraising, from AMIs, donors, Rain Angels, business, corporate. The other half is dependent upon the event. And so, of course, last year, or this year, was the first year ever that we had to cancel. We ended up getting creative, and we produced the Virtual Fest. This was way more successful than anything we could have imagined. We were trying to mitigate, we were looking at the potential of a $486,000 loss. We took a shot in the dark. We had no idea what it was going to look like, had no idea what we were doing. We think it came together beautifully. I think the community really rallied behind it. One of the really cool things that came from it is we were able to promote Lafayette to the world in a different way than what we normally do. We had people from 44 countries that tuned in, plus several other really, really nice metrics that we can get in the weeds on later. So we got through that, and we were thinking, man, we got that monkey off our back. We're going to make it through. We were able to mitigate a lot of the loss that we were looking at. Not all of it, but enough of it to where we're in a position where we could look forward to 2021, start planning our event, and live another day. And so 2021 comes around, and the months start rolling, and we still have the same challenges. COVID obviously did not go away. So our hands were tied for several months. We could not even begin planning or booking our event. For many, I could give you 24 reasons on here, but the challenges just didn't go away. So what we started doing is we started by looking at our normal footprint, and we said, all right, if we have to make decisions later, for example, if we could start planning in December, it's not enough time to look at the full event, but we could chop out certain pieces of it and be able to pivot. So we had a decision matrix that we put together. Well, we finished that, and we still couldn't start. So then we just started brainstorming all sorts of crazy ideas because we didn't want to give up on the thought of the possibility of being able to produce a big event. And so I have another list with a dozen more venues. We mapped them out. Just like I said, it was all brainstorming. Of course, the one that really, I guess, caught everybody's attention was Youngsville. And I realized there were some mixed signals here, and I want to be very clear what Youngsville was. We were trying to look at the cost of producing a big event, and especially when we fly all these artists in from overseas, we have to cross-book with Jazz Fest and other venues around the states to try to split the travel costs. So if we were able to open ourselves up to some additional support from a neighboring community, we could help try to mitigate some of those costs, have the primary event in Lafayette and a satellite event in Youngsville. So that was what we were working on. This was maybe a month ago or so. We started getting to the end and saying, man, we really don't have any good options that we're excited about. That's when I started reaching out to our external partners. And I realized when I talked to Anita at DDA that this was a bomb that I had just dropped, and now we're here. So we've had, and that wasn't our intention. Like I said, that's what we were working on. What we're looking at, we're going to work with DDA and DOU. At least this is what we have in the works. We want to commit to downtown. We want to come up with a live, immersive, virtual. We're not sure exactly what it looks like yet. We're going to get creative and have fun. We're going to focus on downtown, and we'll be able to pivot safely depending on what the environment looks like in April. If we can have people in the venues, great. If not, we'll work around that. Our ultimate goal for this year is we want to try to break even again. You know, last year we did not. To have 2 years of losses in a row, we just want to work as hard as we can to try to avoid that. So DDA-DLU is committed to support us in every way they can. I've received a lot of conversations with you guys and the mayor's office about, you know, you guys are supporting whatever way you can as well. So we want to get through this year and hopefully break even. Moving forward, I think everybody's dream, both on your side, our side, the community, we want to think about festival living on forever in downtown. So there are some things that we would require, you know, we need to invest in the venue. There are some easy things that we need, some safety lights. We want to be at some bollards in the streets. We want to make sure that it's a safe venue for our patrons. And then ultimately, as I pointed out in the first slide, we have to support ourselves. And I think right now, we obviously bring a lot to the city from a financial return perspective. And I think if we get creative, there's a way that we can figure out some sort of performance or incentive-based funding, you know, to help make us stable and be able to remain downtown Lafayette forever, hopefully. So that's kind of a quick overview, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I think some of the council members might want to chime in, and then maybe some people in the audience might want to say something. But before we get to that point, what you just said in your presentation, short and sweet, when we do the budget, come out and say something like that. So the council, that's probably some things that perhaps maybe we could have done, or we can do. So just come out and a couple of minutes, just tell us what you guys need, and we can see what we can do. There's no promises, but at least come out and ask.
Absolutely.
Ms. Cook.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What kind of ask are we looking at this point? I mean, do you have a dollar amount? I know y'all have raised 150 already, or more than that at this point in the game. What? Am I making that number up? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're approaching 150, I believe. Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we have another 350 that we need to figure out. And at this point, you know, we're not the type of organization to come and beg for stuff. So we're about, once we figure out what we're working towards, then we're going to start our fundraising campaign, and hopefully the community is going to rally behind us. And if we can get a similar level of support from the community as we did this year, we can get close. And then if we do the same sort of, you know, Virtual Fest, we were able to sell some merch and the Virtual 5K, you know. So I don't know. I think our plan at this point is we just want to get creative and fight through. And I think where DDA and DLU is coming in, as they said, they're going to help us try to get creative on where we can find funding.
So what kind of time frame are we looking at in terms of, I mean, you know, we're talking, when is the festival? April? Is there?
Yeah, last weekend of April.
Last week of April. So yeah, so we're pretty much got to figure out what we're going to be doing in terms of the fund. I mean, you already have that fundraising ideas intact. Yeah, so we have to just move forward with that.
Yeah, and I also want to be clear, we're not about, our lights aren't going to go off tomorrow. Fortunately, over the past few years, we have been able to work and, you know, get some savings. Obviously, we just need to mitigate 2 years of losses in a row. So,
Right.
So this isn't a dire, you know.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good to know, yeah. As far as the return that the city gets from this, I mean, you know, just your chart pretty much said a lot in terms of 50-50, and then now it's, you know, the amount that we put in compared to the return. So, I mean, it's definitely, you know, an important economic, you know, activity and driver for the community, you know, not just downtown. So, yeah, so I really, you know, I appreciate the fact that you're trying to keep it downtown, and I'm not opposed to, you know, moving it to Youngsville because I don't like Youngsville. That's not my point, but I just think it is a downtown festival, and it's always been that way. So I appreciate you working to keep it in that, you know, in that light. So
Absolutely.
thank you for coming tonight to give us a little bit more insight into what's going on.
Thanks for the invite, for sure.
So Scott, all the fundraising that you guys do are to keep you guys afloat. It's funding that y'all have to go out there and make happen.
Right.
So one of the things y'all do, I think our conversation that you and I had, that you guys sell things for
Right.
some funding. So as when it comes to expenses, salaries and all, it's through fundraising that you guys do your own.
Right.
But no one supports y'all for all these years, except for when the council give y'all a few dollars.
All in all, public funds with grants and every source that we have, it's about $100,000.
About $100,000.
That's what it was in 2019.
$100,000.
Right. And so fundraising is around 900,000 that we just have to raise.
Okay.
And then the rest is mainly on site from either merchandise or our vendor spots, the vendors' tents that, we charge for.
All righty, any more council discussion? Ms. Veronica, do you have any cards somebody would like to speak to
Yes.
this?
Yes, sir. We did have 14 citizens who emailed or signed in to keep the festival in Lafayette. They are in support of that. We do have one speaker, Anita Begnaud.
Are both of these on?
They're all hot.
Okay. I don't know.
Hey, Anita Begnaud. I'm the CEO of the Downtown Development Authority. I've been in conversations with Scott, his executive committee, of which a member is here tonight, his board of directors, his staff, and some folks from the DDA and DLU board, some founders of the festival, and a lot of conversations with Scott and you about this issue. And I wanted to stress the importance of Festival International to downtown Lafayette's small business economy. It is a huge driver in why people make a decision to locate in downtown Lafayette, particularly from a restaurant and a retail perspective, but also when you think about international law firms like Jones Walker, who occupies the 16th floor of the Chase Tower building. They throw a huge party for their clients every year and bring people in from other markets to come to Festival International to be able to, show off their presence in downtown Lafayette. Additionally, we know that it's something that the Lafayette Economic Development Authority has utilized as an opportunity to bring in business prospects. When I started my career at Acadiana Economic Development Council, we were partners in doing that, the suite that used to be housed at JSP, to bring in business prospects. Businesses like CGI largely made their decision to locate here because of the camaraderie of our community, because of the culture that we have in Lafayette, and they saw it through the eyes of things like Festival International. And I know Schoolman's been in the headlines a lot over the last 6 months. We heard the same things from them. I toured the CEO, Brian, the CFO, Bob, and some of their executives around downtown Lafayette a few months ago, hopefully trying to recruit them to office permanently downtown, but just to show them what it had to offer so that when they're recruiting employees, and I know that y'all saw an article this week in the paper about they got 1,000 resumes when they opened up for jobs. When they're recruiting those employees, that they have something to show off and they can understand how they can utilize something like downtown Lafayette to recruit talent. So festival is a huge component of that. Recruitment, retention, attracting businesses and talent, but also supporting small businesses. I cannot underscore how important festival is for our small businesses in downtown Lafayette, but also throughout the community. We do not have a major hotel in the downtown Lafayette footprint, and so when hundreds of thousands of people come to festival, all of Lafayette benefits from that. And I'm here if you have any questions or you want to continue the conversation with us about this moving forward. The economic impact of festival is enormous. I don't want to lose sight of that, and I want to think about the allocation that the city council decides to give to festival as an investment that you expect a return on that can propel Lafayette forward from a sales tax perspective. So thank you again for your time.
Good timing.
I've done this before.
No other speakers, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Scott and Anita. I guess, Scott, we'll see you doing budget.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, guys. Okay, let's move along. Ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker forms are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read item number 9.
City Ordinance 103-2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $32,721 received from the U.S. Department of Justice for a 2020 Edward Byrne Justice Assistance Grant and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department.
Okay, I need a motion and a second. Motion by Ms. Annie Nakane, second by Ms. Liz Hebert. Council discussion. There's none. Ms. Williams, public comment?
No, sir.
Vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? The motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 104, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 2021 but operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $19,180.25 received from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department.
Motion and second. Motion by Ms. Lynette Cook, second by Ms. Liz Bear. Council discussion. There's none. Public comments, Ms. Williams?
No, sir.
Vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 105, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $154,560 received from the Louisiana Highway Safety Commission and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department.
Motion and second. Motion by Ms. Bear, second by Mr. Andy Nakane. See, Mr. Nakane, discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a constituent had a couple of questions, and in reading the ordinance, it's pretty clear to me. The first question he had was, why will the Lafayette Police Department receive this $154,560? Well, it's appropriated through the Lafayette Louisiana Highway Safety Commission to the Lafayette Police Department. And his next question was, what will the funds be used for? Well, this is all tied together. It comes to Lafayette Police Department to pay for overtime to basically promote highway safety and dealing with the click it or ticket, the OWI checkpoints, is to pay for all the overtime that these guys pay at these checkpoints, but it's to conduct it throughout the year. And this money's appropriated in the regard that we have to have these checkpoints, we have to do this conduction, we also have to have the public education. So all that money's tied into that. It is a grant to promote public safety and limit and reduce traffic fatalities and the injuries we have through accidents here locally. I think that hopefully that will answer my constituents' questions. That was the reason I chimed in. So I do support this. I think it's a great thing to promote public safety. And thanks to the Lafayette Police Department because they do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nakane. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 106, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and the Acadiana Center for the Arts Incorporated for the selection, design, and installation of public art on certain traffic signal and electrical cabinets.
Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Andy Nakane. Council discussion, Mr. Nakane.
Again, I had the same gentleman questioning this ordinance here, and basically this, to answer the questions, is he wants to know how much will the selection, design, and installation of public art on certain traffic signals and electrical cabinets cost? Well, according to the ordinance, it's $20,000. It's money that was allocated back in 2019, I believe, or even earlier, but this is basically, we're moving forward to spend the money. It's now come forward, it's in the budget, so we're going to move forward to spend this money to part of the ECI project, the Evangeline Corridor Improvement Project, and it's all tied into each other. So we have $20,000 to spend, as much as $2,000 per traffic safety signal box. It may do more than 10 boxes, we don't know, but it's no more than 2,000 per box, so it's going to be actually a little competition among local artists to come up with designs and implement it to try to improve and beautify that area on the Evangeline Corridor. Let's see if we had anything else. Oh, has there been any thought on having public art on the traffic signal and electrical cabinets installed by ULO, SLCC, or LPSS? Well, that's nothing to do with LCG, I don't think so. That would be up to them to decide what to do there. And all these cabinets are located along the Evangeline Corridor, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully that answers his questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, anyone have to change your mind? Okay, there we go. You're hot.
And I also wanted to add, very good report. You're exactly right. And I also just wanted to add that this Art Box program has been in place since 2015. You will see those Art Box installations throughout the city. They're generally located in high pedestrian trafficked areas. They do support public art, obviously, because they are forms of public art. They support public artists because the artists are actually commissioned to produce the work. The designs are vetted by a council that's put together by the ACA, because obviously art is subjective. They generally are ideally themed with the appropriate location. So oftentimes you'll see an art box that makes sense where it's located. There's some new ones that the university did. They're all right around the university, and they're all university themed. And then lastly, I just want to point out that the installation component of the art box, they're wrapped, much like a vehicle might be wrapped, and it's actually graffiti proof. I probably shouldn't say that, and that might encourage people to go try it out. But they're graffiti proof. They do have a very long lifespan, considering the relatively small amount of money that's used to install the boxes. We've got some just right here at the corner. They still stay vibrant because of the materials, and if something should occur, since they are wraps, they can be more easily removed. So we do have some students that do occasionally apply, going back to the LPSS and the SLCC questions. We do have students that occasionally apply and have even been granted the art boxes. But we do have an interactive map as well on LCG. But I just wanted to add to your already very thorough, probably unnecessary.
Okay. Any public comments?
No, sir.
Vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, joint ordinance for final adoption. Cindy, please read.
Joint Ordinance 101-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, adjusting the fiscal year 2021 manning tables and amending the operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing the use of the city general fund prior year fund balance in the amount of $35,646 to reinstate a clerk 2 position within the Communications 311 section of the CAO Administration Division that was inadvertently deleted from the fiscal year 2021 budget.
Need a motion and a second? Motion by Mr. Cook, second by Mr. Andy Nakane. Council discussion, Mr. Nakane.
I have a very inquisitive constituent, but anyway, Ms. Sidra, I think I sent you a copy of those questions, and if I'm not mistaken, a lot of this goes back to the fact that 311 was not moved to fiber, but kept under your department, so it kind of left you shorthanded to deal with it. So this position, I assume, is to fill that position in order to to fill the needs of monitoring this 311 call system. But I'm going to let you speak to it, please.
Yes, you're very correct. The position was actually vacant during the budget period. We purposefully left it vacant, not knowing exactly what was going to happen with 311. And as we are going through some 311, and the communications division is really more than just 311. It also includes all of our mail and cellular devices, and we are going through some transitions. And as a result, we are definitely needing to fill this position now that we know where we're going with the path of it. Because the position was vacant during the budget process, it was inadvertently deleted because we did go through and take out a bunch of those vacant positions that were deemed we weren't going to proceed with. And it was just human error that this one was swept up into those deletions. It is a civil service position. It will be advertised, and it will follow all the civil service processes to be filled.
Okay. So this position has been vacant, it just need to be filled, there's a need for it.
That's correct, and and I think the other question was it previously filled? And yes, it has been filled in the past, yes.
And it's all brand new to us with this 311 system, so it's very important to have this position, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully that satisfies questions.
Yeah, and really
wanna
the
talk?
311 system, as well as, that's a servicing specifically our constituents. It also helps route requests faster, quicker, easier throughout the government. But the communications division is more than just 311. We think of it as just 311, but it's really services a lot of internal communication needs, external mail, interoffice mail, like I said, the management of cellular devices, and all of that.
Had this 311 system been brought back to fiber, would this be necessary for you to do this today?
Likely, yes, because of the mail. The mail is the piece that we really are needing to manage at this point.
Well, thank
The
you for that.
physical mail and interoffice mail.
I don't know if there's any further questions from my constituent, but thank you for answering those. You did. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Any public comments?
No, sir.
Vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 102-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and the City of Scott concerning the cleaning of Cooley Ildacon Lateral 8.
Motion and a second. Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Nakane. Council discussion. I see there's none. Public comments?
No, sir.
Vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 103-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council adjusting the manning tables and amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by adding one maintenance worker to the Lafayette Science Museum Division of the Community Development Department.
Motion and a second. Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Andy Nakane. Council discussion. Mr. Nakane.
Again, he had a question on this ordinance for final adoption was, what was the salary of the maintenance worker? And I read it to be $27,072 per year. I think that answers that question. Thank you.
Okay, next CEO? You all right? Okay. Public comments?
No, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have a question.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Ms. Hebert, go ahead. You
Thank
have
you,
the floor.
sir. I don't know who can answer this, Mayor or Sidra. Is this, I know we went back and forth during the budget, and some of the council members added back some positions at the Science Museum. Is this in addition to those? You mind answering the question? I think you know what I'm trying to ask.
Yes, you're exactly right. This was the position that was discussed and was intended to be added in. It just didn't get added in during that budget. Again, it was just an oversight with so many changes happening during the budget process. So it was the one that was discussed. It's not in addition to what was discussed.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And will we be seeing more ordinances like this from the edits that we made?
No, I don't think so. We're pretty confident that we've kind of scooped everything up.
So
at
this
This should do it. So anything that would come forth would probably be new positions that weren't discussed at any point during the budget period.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, and I'll also add that this will also go on the rehire list for, it is a civil service position. It'll go through the civil service process, and we'll go back to rehire employees first.
Perfect. Thank you, Sidra.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Ms. Cook.
Sidra, I have a question. Did we, and we might have, and maybe I was snoozing at the time, did we put something in the budget for that position we did for remember the dual position we had for the marketing fundraising person? Have we put that into the budget?
It's my understanding that yes, it is. The
Okay.
position has not been filled yet. though.
Okay, but it was put, okay, that's what
And we can fact check that, though. Yes, so
Okay,
remember,
that's
so it
right.
wasn't a line item, wasn't a civil service position.
That's right.
It was like to the
Contract,
Manning
yes.
table. So it was originally, we were going to put it on the Manning tables under community development.
I forgot, that's right.
So we're going to go through contractual services. I still support that position, it just hasn't been filled yet.
Okay, that's fine, that's what I need to know, thank you.
Thank you.
Citra? You okay?
nope.
Okay, okay. Any public comments?
No, sir.
Vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? District 4? The motion to adopt is approved.
Announcement of vacancy on boards and commissions. Cindy, please read.
A vacancy exists on the Lafayette Parish Bayou Vermilion District Board for 2 years and 9 months, the remainder of an unexpired 4-year term. Applicants must be Black citizens of Lafayette Parish. A vacancy will exist on the Lafayette City Planning and Zoning Commission as of January 7, 2021. This is a 5-year term. A vacancy exists on the People's Safety Initiative Board for the remainder of an unexpired 2-year term through August 31, 2022. Applicants must be dietitians. A vacancy will exist on the People's Safety Initiative Board as of January 1, 2021. This is a 3-year term. Applicants must be medical doctors. A vacancy will exist on the Lafayette Waterworks District South Board as of January 1, 2021. This is a 3-year term. Applicants must be district residents. A vacancy will exist on the Lafayette Science Museum Advisory Board as of February 1, 2021. This is a 4-year term. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. Yearly ethics training for all appointees is required as is financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Veronica L. Williams, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017-C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, or email to bclafayette@lafayettela.gov, no later than noon Tuesday, December 15, 2020, with appointments to be made at the January 5, 2021 regular meeting of the Lafayette City Council. Resume submissions are public record.
Okay, let's move along. Consider appointments by the council as a whole to boards or commissions. Cindy, please read item number 22.
Appointment to the People's Safety Initiative Board for a 1-year term effective December 1, 2020. Applicants must be community organizers.
The resume, we received one resume for consideration. It's from Stacy Green Conrad.
I'd like to nominate Green Conrad.
Okay, I have a nomination on the floor for Ms. Conrad. Any council discussion? That'll do. Public comments?
No, sir.
Let's call for the vote.
District 2,
Green Conrad.
District 3,
Conrad.
District 4,
Conrad.
District 1.
Stacy.
Stacy Green Conrad is appointed.
Cover all the names.
She's all in.
Remember, everyone that this appointment has been deferred until December 16th, that's on the buzzer. It has been deferred. Introductory ordinance. I need to remind everyone that item number 24 has been deferred until a January council meeting. Cindy, please read.
City Ordinance 107, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 2021 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $100,000 from the East Pointe de Mouton Road widening project to the MPO LA 182 Renault Roundabout Match Project within the Public Works Department Capital Improvements Division for additional funding needed.
Okay, I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nakane, second by Ms. Hebert. Council discussion? See, there's none. Any public comments?
No, sir.
Vote to introduce the ordinance.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2. The motion to introduce is approved.
Okay, joint introductory ordinance. I need a motion and a second from the council to introduce ordinance item 27 through 34 in global. I have a motion from Mr. Andy Nakane and a second from Ms. Liz Hebert. Cindy, please read.
Joint Ordinance 104, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell at public auction surplus vehicles, equipment, and other miscellaneous movable property which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list auction. Joint Ordinance 105, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell at public internet auction surplus miscellaneous movable property which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list internet auction. Joint Ordinance 106, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council recognizing and ratifying the declaration and certification of a public emergency as stated in Emergency Ordinance, Joint Ordinance 53, 2020, and Ordinance Joint Ordinance 54, 2020, for Lafayette Parish regarding COVID-19, recognizing and ratifying the powers granted to the Lafayette Mayor President to execute any and all contracts necessary, incidental, convenient, or desirable to address this public emergency, and recognizing and ratifying any emergency appropriations for this purpose. Joint Ordinance 107, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, ratifying the declaration of state of local disaster and/or emergency of Lafayette Parish regarding Hurricane Marco and Hurricane Laura, issued by Joshua S. Guillory, Lafayette Mayor President, on August 23, 2020, recognizing and ratifying the powers granted to the Lafayette Mayor President to execute any and all contracts necessary, incidental, convenient, or desirable to address this public emergency, and recognizing and ratifying any emergency appropriations for this purpose. Joint Ordinance 108, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council ratifying the declaration of state of local disaster and/or emergency for Lafayette Parish regarding Hurricane Delta, issued by Joshua S. Guillory, Lafayette Mayor President, on October 7, 2020, recognizing and ratifying the powers granted to the Lafayette Mayor President to execute any and all contracts necessary, incidental, convenient, or desirable to address this public emergency, and recognizing and ratifying any emergency appropriations for this purpose. Joint Ordinance 109, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Chapter 98 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances relative to the rules and regulations applicable to the age and license requirements for users of motorized bicycles and electric-assisted bicycles. Joint Ordinance 110, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $11,667.28 in home investment partnerships, funds received from the payoff of deferred payment loans in the Housing Rehabilitation Program, and appropriating funds within the Community Development Department. Joint Ordinance 111, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council modifying Chapter 89 of the Lafayette City Parish Code of Ordinances by providing for the new Lafayette Development Code.
Okay. Council discussion, Mr. Nakane.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. And regarding item 32, my constituent has a few questions. I'm going to try to address it. Do we need to get legal up here to look at this, or?
Yeah, I think Paul.
I don't know that there's anything that complicated, but
That's
the
okay.
first question
But
was
Council,
what-
just for clarification, so Mr. S. Scott took the lead on this. So
There
if
you
you do
go.
have any
That'll work.
questions from legal, he can help us.
He looks like he could handle it.
He's up for the task.
His first question was what were the age and license requirements, and what age and license requirements are being suggested? Well, basically, I think all we did was put the age and license requirement at the legal driving age of 16 in most cases, except for when you get to some of these other items where they have to be 18. But a lot of this is just setting and mandating an age to be able to drive these things, and not even necessarily having to have a Louisiana license, but just a driver's license. It can be an out-of-state license. But we're just basically making a legal age at what's appropriate to have a license. Will the users of these motorized bicycles and electric-assisted bicycles be required to carry insurance? I think this can be done by the owner of the motorized bicycles, whoever owns it, whether it be an outside source, a third party, or the individuals are probably required to have their own insurance. I don't know that there's a law regarding that, but Ms. Paul, could you address that by any chance?
Oh.
And if I'm wrong anywhere, let me know on any of this, please. Oh, I'm good?
You're nailing it.
Oh. And the last question was, will there be citations given for non-compliance, and the amount of the citations? Has that been established?
So the two different categories, there are electric scooters, and then there's electric-assisted bikes or motorized bikes. They're treated differently, and it depends on which law you're looking at, whether you're looking at state law of Title 32, which is the traffic regulation chapter, Highway Regulatory Act, or Title 14, which are the criminal statutes in the state that deal with OWIs, things of that nature. And then you have the local LCG Code of Ordinances that has its own set of traffic regulations as well. Generally speaking, the electric-assisted bicycles and motorized bicycles are treated as bikes, just like in state law. So a bike operator of an e-bike would be controlled just as if he's riding a regular bike. Electric scooters are treated very in a limited way in state law, and they are not considered a vehicle. So the majority of Title 32 does not apply. Okay?
That clarifies it for me.
Okay.
And I'm a simple man, so hopefully it works. I had one other ordinance he was questioning regarding item 34, the introduction of the UDC. He says, is this joint ordinance referring to the UDC? Yes, it is. Was the old UDC repealed and replaced? No. Specifically, Woodland Chapter 89 was modified, but they just did quite a few things that basically made it more forgiving for developers and builders to build. There's a printout for it. I'll be glad to forward it to you. Was the new UDC made available for public review and discussion? Well, it's not a new UDC. We're just modifying it and amending it. Ms. Slyman, would you like to speak to this?
I can clarify. So, Councilman, just one tweak. It is a repeal and replace. It is a new development code. You will see some of the provisions in there that will be the same as the old ones. We tasked 39-plus members, multiple public hearings, a lot of public hearings, actually. Even during COVID, we made arrangements to Zoom, and council was very gracious in their support and their involvement. Our public body the public was very involved. We appreciate that as well. Our planning commissions unanimously passed this proposed new development code, and but it is a new code. Now, the task was very simple, though, or straightforward with the multiple subcommittees. If it's not broke, keep it in. So you're going to see that language again. If it is broke, tell us exactly why. And some of the council members that participated, you might remember they were a little long on the meetings, but it was worth attending. And but we look and we push these subcommittees, say you got to be specific. You can't just come up here and say the UDC is not good. You give us a specific provision in the ordinance, in the act, and then we moved on to recommended solutions. So very proud, but it's worth noting, and we'll have probably a more in-depth discussion, I would imagine, in 2 weeks. But it is worth noting. Can you kind of brief the council on public involvement, participation? Name the subcommittees and all the involvement that went into this. Very long and methodical approach, but I appreciate your leadership on this.
Okay, so I came up without my cheat sheet, but yes, it's 39 people representing a variety, not just the development community, but also community groups, economic development groups. We had people from the general public who were also part of the committee, and then all of our meetings were public. So when the UDC replacement committee met, those were considered public meetings, and we held a series of meetings in September, 3 at different times, different places throughout the parish to make it convenient for everyone to come in the general public, see the changes, give us their feedback, and then from all of those meetings with the committee members, our LCG staff and all the departments who helped us, and then the public meetings, we drafted the new Lafayette Development Code. So it is available if somebody would like to review it ahead of time. You can go to LafayetteLA.gov, click on Development and Planning, and there is a link to the proposed Lafayette Development Code. And then, yes, it will be a repeal and replace. So we would totally repeal the Unified Development Code and replace it with the new code.
So what is your name? Who are you?
You've never seen her before.
No.
Mary Slyman, Development and Planning
Okay,
Director.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just to highlight, I mean, we found out real quick, just discussing this with the public, that a one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work. It's probably why the council for several years has had to entertain so many amendments to the UDC. So we tried to eliminate that and give you a product that you can consider that. But I mean, like Mary said, representatives from from the unincorporated areas, representatives from downtown, representatives from the north side, from the south side, representatives from the Home Builder Association, representatives from commercial developers. Some of the council members noted early on that you wanted more public involvement, and the previous director and then Director Slyman also made it a point to make sure that we had some engagement. So while we had 39 plus formal members of the committee, it felt like it was much more. And while COVID brought some restrictions and some obstacles in our approach, I feel like we got even more feedback because of the Zoom capabilities and things like that. So good job, great leadership from our director and all of our members who were not paid to do this. So it was very, very thankful for them. And again, thank you to the council for your involvement and your support.
Repeat the website, please.
LafayetteLA.gov, go to Development and Planning, and then it'll be on that first page for the Development and Planning.
Okay.
It says Proposed Lafayette Development Code.
Okay, thank you.
If anybody has any questions, they can call our office too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lyman.
Adjourn the city council meeting.
No,
No?
Mr. Chair,
We got something else?
We didn't vote
oh,
yet.
we didn't vote on the intros.
Oh, all right.
So you just need to call a vote for the intros.
Open the city meeting again. Need to vote to introducing global items 27 through 34.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? The motion to introduce in global is approved.
Now you can adjourn.
Okay. Adjourn the city council meeting.